This video from the Innovation Leaders Club explores how to balance your innovation project portfolio with limited resources. Too often, organizations accept projects regardless of their innovation capacity. Learn how your innovation capacity can help you draw a line in your innovation project list. We have developed a 60-page visual guidebook on how to develop an innovation strategy. It is a fully illustrated step-by-step guide to building the foundation of an innovation system. Click the link in the description below to download it for free. Let's use the example of the furniture manufacturer. In this example, the manufacturer had a pool of resources of 10,000 hours which had been allocated to 4 strategic arenas, one focusing on a new e-commerce distribution channel, 2 focusing on products for the living and dining rooms, and 1 technology arena that is for the development of new textures. This manufacturer also had a bucket for other tactical projects unrelated to strategic arenas such as customer demand, product maintenance, etc. The product committee must agree on resource allocation for each strategic arena, thus deciding which strategic arena should be prioritized. Then the team evaluated the required effort to tackle all the opportunities in each strategic arena independently, leading to the cumulative effort needed to tackle the whole portfolio. Notice that there are way too many opportunities in the bedroom area, considering the total resources pool. Then the tough part begins. The team compared the allocated resources to the opportunity portfolio only to quickly realize that they have more opportunities than they have resources. Thankfully, with the prioritized project list and the cumulative effort, the team was able to rationally expose which project could be tackled and which one couldn't. The interesting discussion begins when one executive tried to push opportunity MN, so which other project was stopped? As you can see, with this approach, it is possible to have a rational discussion while selecting projects and making sure that innovation strategy is implemented. Let's discuss the process of obtaining proper balancing. The third objective of the portfolio review is to obtain proper balancing by verifying that the innovation portfolio complies with the strategic objectives. This is done through a bottom-up approach, which is accomplished by verifying that the potential business outcomes of the selected projects allow you to reach the strategic objectives. Then the portfolio is assessed to ensure that innovation projects are diversified by having a balance between short and long-term projects, as well as between different innovation types. To do so, the portfolio is viewed from different angles. The portfolio can be viewed from different angles using innovation types. In this example, the club member categorized its projects into 4 types. D stands for disruptive. These are innovations that will likely kill the previous generation of technology. Next, P stands for progressive. This addresses consumer needs better than the competition. A good example includes significant technology development. Then C stands for continuous. This is line extension or product improvement involving available technology or some required development. Lastly, T stands for tactical. This includes customer demands, operational optimization, etc. Then the club member could look at the following in the project spread: the number of projects per type, the resource allocation, and the incremental sales NSV first full years. The resource allocation can also be scrutinized by project types and market sectors. These pie charts point management towards strategic bucket thinking to make sure that decisions are in line with business objectives. Another way to look at the innovation portfolio is with a risk-reward chart known as the Project Portfolio Matrix. To build it, projects are plotted on a 2-dimensional risk and reward grid, where the risk or the probability of technical success is on the vertical axis and the reward is on the horizontal axis. The bubble sizes denote the resources committed to each project. Then the shading shows the stage in the firm's stage gate system, where the gray represents early-stage projects, while the darker blue are projects in the later stage. Thus, a project can fall into one of four quadrants, namely starting from the bottom left and going clockwise. First, the white elephant projects. These have a low probability of technical success, and if successful, will produce a low return on the investment. These projects should be avoided, and you should direct resources toward more valuable opportunities. Next, the bread and butter projects have a relatively reasonable probability of success, but their potential value is quite low. These are usually low-hanging fruits or relatively simple innovations of the current offering. They help to sustain the current portfolio offering. You should limit the number of projects in this quadrant. Then the pearls projects have a reasonable probability of technical success and can land good returns. Pearls usually come from oysters that have matured over time, similar to a technology development process or a feasibility project. Unfortunately, not all oysters produce pearls. And lastly, the oyster projects. They usually rely on unproven technology. They have the potential to produce game changers but require front-end investment, such as technology development projects. This helps reduce the risk by improving how one masters technology. Once the technology is more mature, it can be embedded into an innovative development that will be commercialized. The project is probably no longer in the oyster quadrant and has moved into the pearls. Now let's discuss how to establish an optimal number of projects. Finally, the fourth objective is managing project activation so that an optimal number of projects are undertaken simultaneously. This helps to ensure prioritized projects are done first and reduces the overwhelming feeling one might have when too many projects are conducted simultaneously. This graph depicts the establishment of an optimal number of projects. This is based on an IBM study on efficiency in product development. They realized that their engineers were more performant when they handled two projects simultaneously. Any more than that, and their effectiveness decreased. This is an interesting discussion to have and to put in perspective in your workplace. Here, IBM wasn't looking at project managers, but at team members delivering added value tasks in the project. How many projects do project managers run at a time? Based on a Project Management 2020 survey of 228 people, it shows that most project managers lead 2 to 5 projects simultaneously, reiterating the IBM study's conclusion. Then 15% manage only one project. 11% run 6 to 10 projects, while another 15% conduct more than 10 projects. Managing fewer projects at the same time should result in less downtime. Think of all the time it takes to get to something, concentrate, and be genuinely productive. Every time you change from one project to another, you lose that concentration. The table on the left illustrates the downtime in gray, accumulating every time you manage an additional project. On the right, you can visualize the inefficiency accumulating due to the downtime when alternating between 3 projects instead of prioritizing only one project 100% of the time. In the end, it results in significant efficiency gain up to 40%, considering a 20% downtime between projects. The efficiency gain depends on the downtime, which can vary from one project or person to another. While working on multiple projects at the same time can be perceived that the organization is more efficient as things seem to be moving faster, but it could be just an illusion. Alternatively, prioritizing and focusing on fewer projects simultaneously increases the organization's efficiency. This graph depicts the establishment of an optimal number of projects. It is based on an IBM study on efficiency in product development. They realized that their engineers were more efficient when they handled only 2 projects simultaneously. Any more than that, their effectiveness decreased. Indeed, this is an interesting discussion to have and put in perspective in your workplace. Here, IBM was not looking at project managers, but at team members who are delivering added value tasks in the project. Here is an example of activating specific projects in your portfolio while others are in queue. You can reuse the prioritization made for the portfolio review, which was a score of 60 based on multiple criteria to rank the projects. This prioritization is best when conducted per strategic arena, since you can go back to prioritizing the opportunities. This mapping can be used to prioritize opportunities per strategic arena, since you can compare apples with apples. Then you can segment it into 5 priority levels so that you can better manage projects to activate them. Such an approach allows you to manage a large number of opportunities, and it indicates where your team should focus its efforts. For example, there should be less than 10% of opportunities in priority 1. When there is an opportunity in priority 1, all other efforts should be put on hold so that the whole team focuses on this specific opportunity. Priority 2 should comprise about 20% of opportunities. The majority of opportunities, roughly 40%, will fall under priority 3, where priorities 4 and 5 will account for about 20% and 10% of the opportunities, respectively. It's worth noting that most of the time, these will be rejected. Ultimately, based on the optimal number of projects your team can handle, you can determine which project will be activated while others will be queued. When one project is completed, your team can move on to the next highest priority project with the available resources. If you haven't already done so, you can get your hands on our popular 60-page visual guidebook for free. Click the link in the description below. Don't hesitate to watch the next video to learn even more about innovation management practices.